So this week, James Lindsay has proven to us that he is so desperate for people to not see Socialism Saturday. Isn't this sad and pathetic? Listen, man, I used to love James Lindsay. Way back in 2020, he woke me up to a lot of stuff. I thought he was a great teacher. I spent money on his books. I spent money on his workshop, all that stuff. Then I stopped listening to him because I didn't want him to influence my point of view on the socialism stuff. I wanted to be able to do my own research and come to my own conclusions. What a crazy thing. And I've been saying for a while now, James Lindsay is taking my talking points. We know James Lindsay is watching me, and we know he's taking my talking points because he's using them. We've been saying for a while now that James Lindsay was trying to prevent people from seeing my work because when you see my work, it negates the things that James Lindsay is saying. Well, James Lindsay has now given us absolute, unequivocal confirmation that he is openly engaging in cancellation efforts to prevent people from watching this very stream. He does not want people to watch Socialism Saturday. Let me show you what happened in case you missed it. And this is over on my Substack again, carlin.substack.com. It is the article on the main page right now. Confirmed James Lindsay wants my work canceled. Let me show you explicitly what happened. And this is important, guys. You might think this is internet drama, but why does James Lindsay not want people to watch leftist training? Why does James Lindsay not want people to see what goes on these streams? He claims to want to beat the left. He claims to know everything about the left. If he really knew everything about the left and was the best teacher of what the left is doing in the world, why would he be so afraid of people watching a stream where all we're doing is watching leftist training and breaking it down? But you can see here, what happened this week is this woman named Melanie Bennett. Last week, Melanie watched Socialism Saturday with the Ginger Dragon, Sophie Lewis. I've been the only person covering Sophie Lewis for 2 years. I have done more in-depth reporting on abolish the family activism than anyone else on the internet for 2 years. I have a massive archive on this channel, on the YouTube channel, of hundreds of hours of abolish the family content that we've watched. I've been putting out clips like this for years. Every time I sent one of these clips to James Lindsay before he blocked me on Twitter, he refused to share them. Well, now we know that he uses people like Melanie Bennett. Melanie Bennett has been actually using my talking points for months. And I knew that. I had heard her doing it on more than one occasion. Last week, Melanie Bennett watched Socialism Saturday secretly with all of us. And then immediately after Socialism Saturday, she started lifting clips, the exact same things that I was clipping on the stream, and putting them out on Twitter. And then guess what she did? She sent them to James Lindsay to share. And all of a sudden, this content that I've been reporting on for 2 years, all of a sudden, this becomes important because it's not coming from me. Do you guys see how fucked up this is? I used to think that if I just kept my head down and I found the stuff no one else was finding, I have to spend hours digging for this content to find it. I used to think if I just did that, people wouldn't be able to deny the power of the stuff that I was finding that no one else does. No, what they do is if they don't like me, they just find someone to steal my stuff and post it for them, and then they share the third person. So they're shitting on hours and hours of unique research that goes into this. Melanie Bennett doesn't know how to source these clips. James Lindsay doesn't know how to source these clips. There is no conservative influencer on the internet that knows how to source these clips. I know how to source these clips because I've been doing it for 3 years. So now they've decided their best strategy to prevent people from coming to this stream and watching this training and getting these breakdowns is that they're going to have other people watch my streams, steal my content that they did not put the work in to find on their own, and post it, and then they pretend that person found the content. Well, when I saw this, I said, Melanie, did you tune into Socialism Saturday perchance? And Melanie admitted flat out, this one was picked up from listening to your show. Yes, I didn't think it would get picked up the way it did. I should probably add a tag next time. Well, why couldn't she have just added a tag that time? Why couldn't she have just replied to the tweet with a link to the Socialism Saturday stream to say, here's where I got the clip from. You can find a full breakdown of the training here. Why couldn't that have just happened? In an adult world, that's exactly what would happen. I never deny credit to people, guys. If someone else is doing something on my channel, I have a whole wonderful community of people who dig for this stuff with me. I never deny someone credit. In fact, I go out of my way to say, Stony Baloney did this, Mizakan did this, Bot did this, Reagan did this, Sin did this. If I'm taking from smaller creators than me, I go out of my way to Stu Studio. We've watched Stu Studio countless times on this channel. We found Stu Studio when he was much smaller than he is now. We were crediting him every single time because my goal is actually just to get this content in front of people. My goal has always been to support people who are doing this because I know how hard it is. And we all should be working together. We all should be helping each other. But no, that's not the game that Melanie Bennett's playing. Maybe she did it in the past, but now she's not doing it. And I just want to be clear about this. This is a DM that someone had that they sent me with Melanie. I just want to be crystal clear that Melanie openly admits that she was following my work. This is what she had to say about me in a private DM that someone sent me after all this kicked off. I learned a lot from her. She described a lot of what I'm seeing on the ground here. Summarily to her, I'm more interested in what's happening in reality versus theory. I don't buy the religion stuff because that's not how it's described by the ideologies themselves. I started reading the school stuff and was stumped for a while and figuring it out, what it all meant until Carlin opened the proverbial box. This is what Melanie Bennett had to say about me before James Lindsay started sending her to steal my content so that he could share it through her instead of just supporting what I'm doing. So a funny thing happened after this, and you can see here that I asked Melanie for a credit and she said, oh, maybe next time I'll give you a credit. She could have just done it that time. But a funny thing happened. Not the Bee, which is the real news version of the Babylon Bee. Not the Bee picked up the clip, and then my audience was like, where's the credit to Carlin? And my audience started going into the replies of the Babylon Bee saying, here's where the clip came from, here's where the clip came from, here's where the clip came from, and just posting the link to Socialism Saturday. Well, Not the Bee, and we celebrated this at the time, Not the Bee eventually picked this up and added the Socialism Saturday to the article. So this is all Not the Bee did. They updated the article they did about this clip, and they said, here is a video from Carlin Borisenko with a link to my Twitter reacting to this nonsense. Now, I wasn't reacting to this nonsense. I did a full 4-hour breakdown on that speech where we dissected every part of it. It's one of the best Abolish the Family trainings I've ever done. It was if you missed last week's Socialism Saturday, it was awesome. So I was actually really pleased. I was like, holy shit, Not the Bee put a link to my Socialism Saturday in their article. This is great. I was really happy about this. And then what happened next? Check this out. Not the Bee tweets out, the article has been updated to link to Carlin's video directly. Sorry it took us a little bit to update this, but we appreciate all of you bringing it to our attention. And that was all that happened. Everything was fine. The only thing that happened was my link got added to that article. James Lindsay wasn't even mentioned in any of this. And then all of a sudden, James Lindsay comes into the comments on Not the Bee out of nowhere and says, you got struggled by an abusive narcissist cult. Reach out. We'll talk. Advise removing the link. You don't owe the internet a finder's fee. So James Lindsay thinks that everyone who watches my content is in a cult. James Lindsay thinks anyone who supports my content is in a cult. James Lindsay thinks anyone who shares my content is in a cult. And James Lindsay is openly, in public, telling major publications that they should remove any mention of me at all by diagnosing me with a personality disorder that I don't have. And this is the second personality disorder James Lindsay's diagnosed me with. The first time he said I had borderline personality disorder. He's tweeted that multiple times to his 500,000 followers. The second time, he's now saying I have narcissistic personality disorder. Which is it, James? Am I borderline or am I a narcissist? Which personality disorder do I have? Does everyone in my audience have a personality disorder too? Am I just some evil? Do I actively control everything everyone in my audience says and does? As a paid supporter of Carlin, I feel like they are stealing from those who pay you to do the from. I feel like they are stealing from those who pay you to do research and share it with us. Yeah, I think that that's true. I think that's true too. James Lindsay, and this is actually very true. When you guys support the work I'm doing on the Substack or through super chats or through anything else like this, you guys are paying for my time. You're paying for my time. You're paying for me to have the time to research. You're paying for me to have the time to write. You're paying for me to have the time to do these streams with you where we spend hours breaking this stuff down. You are paying for this research to be done. And I feel like I create significantly more content than James Lindsay does. I do this stuff 6 days a week because you guys allow me to do it with your support. James Lindsay is trying to steal from you. James Lindsay is trying to shit on all of your contributions. James Lindsay not only does he not want you to support this work, he doesn't even want you to know it exists. Why doesn't he want you to know it exists? Because when people find my work, they tend to learn really quickly that James Lindsay is lying to them. Oh, wait, Melanie put out a correction today on something else. So Melanie knows how to issue corrections. Melanie's just not inclined to do it when she's stealing my work to support James Lindsay. Isn't that funny? So Not the Bee did end up bending the knee to James Lindsay's struggle session. They actually removed the clip from their article and they just put my name in it, which I guess is fine. But wouldn't it have been better if Not the Bee had linked to a 4-hour breakdown teaching people what that speech said? Because that one clip that Melanie posted wasn't even the best clip in the entire video. Wasn't even the best clip in the video. So they bent the knee to James Lindsay. And I just want to, and I followed up in a DM conversation with Not the Bee. And what Not the Bee told me was that I was being dramatic and I was the one forcing a struggle session on them because my supporters replied to them saying, Carlin deserves a credit for this. Carlin deserves a credit for this. Here's the link. Here's the link. Here's the link. Not the Bee is basically pissed off because my supporters said, why aren't you crediting the source of this? So James Lindsay, according to Not the Bee, is not struggle sessioning them when he comes in and diagnoses me with a personality disorder that I don't have and demands that they remove a link to a 4-hour training breakdown about what Abolish the Family really is. James Lindsay's not struggle sessioning them. But according to Not the Bee, I am when people say, why aren't you crediting where this came from? Which Melanie openly admitted that she got it from me. There was no. So I think the receipts are pretty clear. And just to make sure everyone's really on the same page, I want to just play a quick clip from this video that we record that is out there on the internet about James Lindsay. I found this video. Someone recorded a talk that James Lindsay gave on April 27th. This was not an official recording. It was someone recording on their cell phone. I just want to play you this clip really quickly so you can hear James admit directly he steals other people's work all the time. And after we do this, we'll get into the main show, but I really want to put a fine point on this. James Lindsay openly admits he steals people's work all the time.
I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudia.
What? Excuse me, what? I steal from people all the time. I'm as bad as Claudine Gay, is what he's about to say. Oops, James. Oops. Sometimes doing an extemporaneous speech where you don't script it beforehand leads you to saying the quiet part out loud. What was that? What was that? What, James?
Podcast is getting downloaded 10 million times because I thought it was profound. So you don't know where your message is going to get and where it's not going to get. I steal from people all the time. 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 I'm as bad as Claudine.
And if I kept that clip going, you would have heard James use words that I use on almost every episode of Socialism Saturday, point blank. If you want to watch the full clip, I showed it on a stream earlier this week. I've also previously presented that on the channel. But I want to be really clear. When James Lindsay says you don't owe the internet a finder's fee, what he means is James Lindsay is perfectly fine with me spending hours and hours and hours of my time digging through the bowels of the internet to find these presentations. James Lindsay is perfectly okay with me going undercover at events to record things that no one else is doing. James Lindsay is perfectly fine with me spending probably 4 hours tonight on a Socialism Saturday stream showing you this stuff and breaking it all down. And then he is perfectly fine with sending people to come in and steal my work so that he can share it without crediting the original source that it came from. He feels entitled to do this. And if he's doing it with me, that means he's doing it with other people too. I've been doing this a long time. You do not get rich talking about socialism and leftist content on the internet. And maybe it's just me, but I find it personally offensive that someone with an account with 500,000 followers that reaches millions of people every single day would shit on the people that are doing the type of research that he does not want to do. James Lindsay does not do what I do. James Lindsay has no idea who these activists are. James Lindsay has never covered Abolish the Family content. Even Grok, the AI tool, knows that I have covered more queer Marxism than James Lindsay has. I understand queer Marxism at a more in-depth level than James Lindsay does, and he is actively trying to prevent people from seeing this content, but has no problem finding ways to steal it because no one owes the internet a finder's fee. James Lindsay feels entitled to other people's work. He feels entitled to other people's time. He thinks that everyone should be kissing his ass and kissing the ring and just bending the knee to whatever bullshit he wants. And that is why he openly struggle sessioned Not the Bee to get them to remove a link to a 4-hour breakdown of the Abolish the Family content that no one else on the internet is covering but me. And James can pretend he thinks I have a personality disorder all he likes, but if James actually, and he can pretend that anyone who watches my content is in a cult and you're all mesmerized by me. I have you under some sort of hypnotic spell with my charisma and charm. Yeah, is that what's going on? But the real fact is that James is terrified of my content because I'm a better teacher than he is. My audience understands more than his does, and he knows it. And I have no doubt, guys, that if we just keep putting it out there, if we keep sharing this stuff, if we keep making sure people know that this content is available, more and more people are going to leave James Lindsay's group and they're going to come over here. And when they come over here, they're going to see what's really going on. Because I'm telling you, I literally get comments like this all the time. I've listened to James for the last 2 years. I really thought the Gnostic global cult was real. It only took you a week to fix that. And the reason it took me 1 week to fix that is I show you what real leftists are talking about in the real world, and I just break down the language and you can see it for yourself. Once you can see it for yourself and you can understand the language for yourself, you do not need to buy James's books. So, if you want my work out there, guys, I need your help. I need your support. I need everyone to be sharing my work. And if you can financially support it, please do head over to the Substack, Carlyn, Karlyn, .substack.com. Please consider signing up for a membership for $8 a month or $80 a year. I am 100% grassroots funded. James is funded by Moms for Liberty and Turning Point USA and all these other big time conservative money machines. I will never sell out. I will never sell out to the political establishment. I was in the political establishment in 2020, and then I told them to go screw. I will never sell out. My only job is to tell you the truth. My only job is to show you the receipts, and then you get to decide for yourself what you think. But in order to do that, I do need your help in terms of funding this work, because James has now made it obvious that he is going to do whatever he can to shut me up and to prevent people from seeing this. Where is the preferred place to support? My Substack. If you are on my Substack, $8 a month, $80 a year. If you want to donate more through my Substack in terms of there is a higher level membership you can buy, you can do that. You can also head over to activelyunwoke.com/support and make a one-time gift there. And you can send in some super chats. Super chats are great. You can do that. If you want to support my work in different ways, I'm going to start putting my stuff out there for supporting more. I know I don't always do that as much, but my real goal is I want to get as many people in the Substack as possible. That is the best place to do it. And again, $8 a month, $80 a year, guys, like really does just keep me in business. So that is what I would like. And I do appreciate it. And I just want to remind everyone that as part of your perks, we do have supporter perks to include 2 Zoom calls with me every single week on Monday and Wednesday. And we do movie night on Sundays in my supporter Discord, where you have to be a supporter to get access to it. Tomorrow night, we are watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers in honor of Donald Sutherland, one of the greatest actors of our time. He's put out some amazing work, but one of my favorite movies is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you've never seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you probably still know of this iconic image. And I'm telling you, this is not just a good old alien movie, guys. This is a movie that is hyper relevant to the world we're in today. So come join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. In the supporter Discord to watch Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And how you get into that is I will be sending out a newsletter tomorrow through the Substack. It's called the Unwoke Roundup. It will be going out tomorrow afternoon. It will have a link to the supporter Discord. And so all supporters will be able to join the supporter Discord tomorrow. Come join us for movie night at 8 p.m. And we do movie trivia. We do music related to the movie. It really is a kind of fun time. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. And that's it. That's it. Those are all my orders of business.